Hi, it's Dorothy Guinan with Scrapbooking Quebec. In this video, I'm participating in Janet Fritz's monthly YouTube collaboration, Stretch the Sketch. In this series, we start with a 12 by 12 sketch and then we alter it. We either shrink it or we stretch it. In March, we're using a scrapbook.com sketch designed by Jana Eubank. You will find links to all the other participants below, so when you're finished here, hop along and find out what all the others are doing with this month's sketch. My plan is to stretch it into this 5-photo double page spread. Here's what I'm going to be using. I have material from Echo Park Paper's Magic of Winter collection, wood grain paper from Simple Stories, and snowflake dies from the scrapbook.com. I will list everything I use in the description box below. Before jumping in, I want to have another look at the sketch. So it's a 12 by 12 sketch divided into three. The section with the title, there's a middle strip, and on the far right, there's another strip with circles. I'm going to be doing the very same thing, only on a 24 by 12 canvas. I do plan to switch up the proportions, and I'm going to be using snowflakes instead of circles, and I will be adding a photo mat, but I'm going to talk you through my entire thought process. Here is what's on my desk. So I have two pieces of 12 by 12 Bazzill Marshmallow cardstock. I did mat 5 photos in advance. I have some paper from this Magic of Winter collection, but it's pretty picked through. I have a big chunk of printed paper, some scraps, and a 12 by 12 from the solids from this collection. The vellum I'm showing you is from Stampin Up. That wood grain is from Simple Stories. Those stickers are from the Magic of Winter collection. I also have some enamel dots, some alphas from my stash. I have the sketch, of course, and these embellishments are from a past Creative Memories collection, a past winter collection, so I threw those in as well. In this basket, I have a bunch of tools, and I'll talk you through those tools when I use them. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut up a bunch of paper, and this is going to create my foundation page and a mat across the two pages. I will put measurements on the screen for all of these page parts a little bit later on in the process when I actually place them on the page, because I'm cutting them right now, but I do end up trimming them some more, and this gets changed up a little bit later on in the process. Now, the wood grain paper that I'm about to cut is not on the sketch. What I'm going to create with that is a photo mat that spans across the two pages, and it's just something I like to do when I stretch a single page layout into a double page spread. I like to create a mat that spans across the two pages to house my photos, and it's just a way of making the two pages work easily together. Now what you see me doing is adding a bit of ink to all of my paper pieces, and the ink I'm using is Morning Mist by Versifying Claire. I'm not going to make you watch all of it, but you're going to see they are all inked up right now, and they're divided per page for the left page and the right page. So now I'm going to place everything down on the page, and you can see I'm kind of fudging it. When I place that photo mat down, it's going to look like that printed paper is a full 12-inch strip, but it's not. Again, I have barely any of this collection left, so I'm just making it work for me. Otherwise, I'd just be wasting paper anyway. So now I'm placing the photos down as well, and there's a few things that are going to happen here. Number one, I'm realizing right away that I don't like the warm tones in that wood grain with the cool colors in this Magic of Winter collection. So I grabbed myself another piece of wood grain paper. It's from the very same Simple Stories Woods collection, only it has more of a gray, bluish, cool tone to it. So what I end up doing is, off camera, I cut myself out another photo mat in this other wood grain paper, and I'm much, much happier with it. There's another thing I'm realizing at this point. I'm not liking those blue strips of paper that I have tucked behind that printed paper. My plan was just to add a narrow border in that navy blue at the ends of each of those printed papers, just kind of as a contrast. But I found they were too small, really, and too matchy-matchy, too identical on both sides. So what I'm auditioning right now is a wider strip of that navy paper, and I am happier with it. So you're going to see me cut that down. What I was looking for there was the strip on one page to not be identical to the strip on the other page. So the strip that's going to be on the right page is going to be wider. I do end up trimming that down as well, but I'm just kind of auditioning it at this point to see if I like it. I do like it, so I am going to trim those printed papers down a little bit right now. I end up cutting about 1 inch off of each one of those. So when I put the measurements on the screen, it will be for all of the adjusted page parts. Also, I do end up changing things a little bit on the left-hand side as well. You're going to see that in a minute also. And it has to do with that strip of navy paper as well. But first, if you look at the sketch there, the journaling on the page is kind of on the left of the page, and I do plan to do that as well, only I will be putting my journaling on a block. So what I end up doing is cutting out a planner page with this die I'm showing you right now. It's a die from Elizabeth Craft Designs. I will list it in the description box below, but it's a planner page. I use it often for layering and journaling. So that's going to kind of layer up behind those two photos on the left-hand page. And right now, what you see me doing is tearing some strips of vellum. I am using a Creative Memories tearing tool. This as well, like the photo mat that spans across the two pages in wood grain, isn't on the sketch. I'm adding it. Like I mentioned earlier, I think I did anyway, I put that mat across the two pages because I do find it helps make the two pages go together. I like doing it when I stretch a sketch into a double page spread, but the vellum there, I'm adding it because it's a winter page, and I do find vellum looks really nice on wintry pages, especially torn vellum. So you can see I am adhering all of the page parts to the foundation page. So I'm starting on the right-hand page. I started by adhering the printed paper and that navy strip at the top and at the bottom of the page. Then I adhered the vellum behind that wood grain paper. Then I adhered the wood grain paper right across the middle of the page, kind of the middle towards the bottom. And now you see me adhering those three photos right across the middle. Now I'm going to work on the left-hand page. So once again, I'm going to start by adhering that printed paper to the bottom, then to the top of the page. I mentioned earlier I wasn't necessarily happy with the blue strips of paper. My original plan was to have it peek out from underneath that printed paper, but what I ended up deciding doing is adhering it on top of it, just a little bit in from the edge. And what I also wanted to do was just trim it down a bit. I wanted it to be a different width than the strip that you see on the right-hand page, and the width that I had it at, I found them too identical. That's why I trimmed it down a little bit. Now, once again, I am adhering the vellum behind that wood grain paper, and then I'm adhering that wood grain photo mat across the middle of the page. You may have seen there that I kind of adhered those two pages together temporarily with a low tack tape. I just did that because it was easier to place that wood grain paper so that it would flow nicely across the two pages. It's just a quick hack, and it's great when you're creating double page spreads where the mat spans across the two pages. So all of my page parts, my photos, and the journaling box are adhered to the foundation pages. Now I'm going to work on the title. So my title is going to be Hello February Snow 2023. So you can see I have February Snow 2023 already on wax paper from 2 different alpha sets that will be listed in the description box below. Now what you see me doing is cutting out the word hello. So the die I'm using, I got it from the Scrapbook and Cards Today monthly sampler collection. I'm no longer a subscriber, but I was for a year, and every month in the sampler subscription there would be a word die and a shadow. I absolutely loved it. So I cut that out in white and blue, and now what you see me doing is cutting out some snowflakes, and the dies I'm using are from the scrapbook.com, and they are in a bunch of different sizes. I end up cutting out a bunch of them in blue and in white, and in a moment you're going to see I cut them off film, off camera, and then you're going to see I have a pile of snowflakes there along with my other embellishments. So you can see I have my title there placed over on the left. That definitely has a decorative impact. I'm showing you the embellishments I have in the tray, including those laser cut borders from Creative Memories. I have all of my snowflakes around me, and basically what I plan to do is replace the circles that you see on the sketch with snowflakes. I find the circles there are very much a decorative element. I'm not going to have as many as you see on the sketch, but I do have them. So I end up putting 5 main areas with snowflakes, and 3 of them are the extra big ones. Those are strategically placed in a visual triangle across the 2 pages. So I have 2 on the right page and 1 on the left by the title. Now at this point, you can see I've got a bit of blue snowflakes and a bit of white snowflakes, but I am looking at that laser cut border strip from Creative Memories. It has snowmen on it. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's been kicking around my desk for a few months, and it's starting to get beat up. So I figure if I don't use it, it's going to get ruined. So I ended up cutting it in 3, and my idea is on the page, even though I have more than 3 snowflakes, I have 3 big ones that are forming a visual triangle across the 2 pages. So I thought I would tuck in those snowmen in and around the larger snowflakes, kind of to reinforce that visual triangle. And that's what you see me doing right now. So at this point, what I'm going to do is start adhering my pieces to the page, my embellishment pieces. I'm starting on the right page with that title, or with the subtitle, the date at the bottom, 2023. Then I'm coming in with 2 of those snowmen from the border. I'm just putting it along the bottom of that photo over there on the right. And then on top of it, I'm adhering 2 snowflakes, one on top of the other, a white one and then a bluer, smaller one on top. Now what you see me doing is continuing the very same thing, and you may notice the adhesive I'm using for the snowflakes. It's called Ecstasy. It's by Ecstasy Crafts. It's called Sticky Specs. I'm sorry, I forgot the word for a moment. Basically, it's for adhering detailed pieces, and what you do is you place your detailed piece on top of that yellow paper and it picks up the adhesive. It's kind of messy, but it does work. Now you can see I've moved over to adhering the pieces on the left-hand page. So I started by adhering those snowman, then I adhered the word snow. Now on top of it, and I'm starting at the end of the word on purpose, I'm adhering the word February. I want the words to kind of stagger. That is why I started at the end of the word February. Off camera, I continued adhering the word February. And for the word hello, I popped that one up on foam adhesive. So now I'm coming in and adding a snowflake, a big white one down at the bottom there on the left. On top of it, I add a smaller blue one. And just above the word hello, I'm adding a white snowflake. Now in the middle of the white one above the word hello, I ended up layering another white one on top of it. And it turns out I'm quite liking the white snowflake on the white background paper, and then yet again layered with another white snowflake. When I did that, it's making me switch around the other snowflakes on the right page, which is what you see me doing right now. So that larger one that was on the top, at first I had layered it up with a smaller blue one on top. I ended up removing that and putting a white one on top. These are just final details that I'm doing at the end. But what I'm making sure with the snowflakes is I made sure that the 3 large ones were placed in a visual triangle across the 2 pages. Also with the blue snowflakes, I made sure that there were 3 forming a visual triangle as well, even though if they weren't in the same spots as the large snowflakes. Also, what I did as well was I added an enamel dot to the middle of each one of those snowflakes. And now what you see me doing is preparing to stamp inside the tab of that planner page. And the stamp set I showed you is called Tabs for Everything. It's an old one from Stampin' Up. I ended up doing that off camera just because it was a bit awkward with the tripod on top of my head. But basically off camera, I stamped the word amazing on that planner page tab and added my journaling. That is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would be thrilled if you did. And if you are a subscriber, thank you very, very much. Don't forget to check out all the other participants. Their links are listed below. Have a great day, and I will see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.